What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, Channel 99. I've got with me one of my buddies, Tommy Davidson. He owns and operates Davidson Elite Training out of Idaho Falls.
Correct.
And he's got everybody from beginners in the gym to collegiate athletes. He has a portfolio that's super deep. This guy, and I go back to college, he was an all-star athlete as a linebacker, and I played on defense with him for two
seasons.
Yeah, 2 of the years that we played. And I was a little bit of, I guess I was a little bit of the reason why you even came back, because you were hitting me up about, like,
hanging out and seeing who was hanging around there still that I still enjoyed talking to and everything.
If it was even worth coming back and hanging out,
right.
If anybody, like, would be worth hanging out with. And I'm glad I could have been a part of that because, I mean, like, once you got there, we
took off from there.
Yeah, and I think that was part of your development to where you're at right now. So I feel like I'm somewhat a part of, like, literally
you've been there
where
from
you
the
are.
beginning. Yeah,
totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So kind of makes me feel good to have been a part of your development, whether it's been minuscule or grandiose.
It's been grandiose, man.
So,
absolutely.
Thanks, man.
I still remember the encouragement starting. You were one of the first people that actually said,
"Don't drop that shit, pussy!"
Yeah, like, don't you stop that, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
what it was.
Push, 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 push. Yeah, dude, back in the day. Yeah, dude, back in the day. Well, shoot, everybody who's listening, you can find him. He gives the shout-outs at the end, but if you want to look him up while you're listening to the show, you can find him at Davidson Elite Training. Literally anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, probably Twitter. You got Twitter?
It's up there. We don't do much with there, but it's up there.
Yeah, and mine
it's linked to something.
Mine reposts everywhere too. So.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and you can find me anywhere, and that includes, like, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, Podbean, Laughable, you name it. I'm literally everywhere. So that's Channel 99 or Channel 99 Studio. Make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars, pass the episode along, and enjoy the fucking episode and have a wonderful rest of your day. And Ada is super chill right now. Peace.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, what's up, everybody? I've got Tommy Davidson. What's up, dude?
What's happening, man?
You're back on my podcast for the second time, but this is the first time people are actually listening to you.
Yes, sir.
Because we've got about 40 minutes that I haven't published yet, but maybe I'll publish them at the end of this episode. So.
Absolutely. It was a good time. Good conversation there.
You just did a little photo shoot with my dog. Thank you. She is such a diva, and she loves to hang out with people. So anytime she can get her photo snapped without it being a cell phone, she's cool with an actual camera. She'll pose.
Yeah.
But if it's my cell phone, she does not like it.
She doesn't take that.
She doesn't like a cell phone. I don't know what it is. She's really weird about my cell phone. But either way, dude, you killed it. You looked like a friggin' Viking warrior king because of your beard.
I appreciate that. It's coming back.
Yeah. Did you cut it all off?
I did.
The last time I saw you was pretty intense, dude.
It was
like intimidating.
It got more than that.
Yeah.
Right before I cut it off in, like, January.
Was it like losing a limb?
Honestly, it wasn't really that bad. It was just like it was time to start anew. For whatever reason, and it worked out. It was good.
Good, man.
And it grows back.
It does. It does. Yeah, I've learned that. But I've got a sad beard, so.
Luckily, I don't have a job that regulates.
Mine
that's
either.
up to me personally. So so that's nice, right?
Yeah, it would suck though. But like, I think honestly, beards are very commonly accepted nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching this, I apologize. You are looking at the old version of my configuration, but now as you're watching, you're going to be switching to reality. Solid. Your camera's a little messed up. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, you got it. You can kind of move it. Yeah, there you go.
We got a little wedge in here. Wait, is that? No, that's still coming back.
You're good. No, you're good. And then I can just move you over my dog and then move my dog over.
Is this straight up? Yeah, that's no.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Solid, man. We got it. That's how it works. Oh yeah. Perfect. And then let me swap everybody else over. See what I'm seeing now. There we go. Cool. It's a little better. You know what? We could make you a little taller though. But I'm sorry, man. Where were we at again?
I'm lost.
I'm so lost.
You good? Beards.
Beards, dude.
They are accepted.
Yeah, beards are totally accepted. Exactly. Especially in the business world now. As long as, people keep them clean.
Yeah.
They look nice. They're, well manicured. You don't... you just don't look.
You take a little bit of care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as it's not showing up, and hair has a little bit to do with that. Once in a while, but
yeah.
No, they no, that's absolutely true. I have a client that he just opened a barbershop, and it's pretty interesting the way that he's doing it. It's very smart, and it's nice to see how it develops and everything as far as getting certain people, just bringing them all in and getting them trained as barbers, whether cosmetologists, people that are doing hair.
So he's doing like a school.
He already owns a school, Austin Cade Academy, but basically he's opened up another barber shop that's just its own thing over here,
where he has licensed barbers
Correct.
Who work there. Okay, and so what? So
is basically it about they're just bringing them in. And then putting them through as far as like a little bit of a business development type situation. And basically what I'm getting at here is they're getting at beards, and he was the one that's really always getting at me to keep, because he'll come in and train at my gym, in the mornings and be like, hey man, you probably need to, take the beard down a little bit or something. Yeah, you need to get in there one of these days, or just go see someone and get that lined up and cleaned it up. So, I got that free reminder kind of, so it's nice. But,
and when you get cleaned up, you're like, oh man, I need to just keep this clean.
Yeah, but then it goes so quickly.
But then it does. It does.
I mean, yeah. You get pretty lazy and focus on other stuff, and it's like
you do. It's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But
no,
it's good.
I know how it goes. Well, and I think beards are just kind of more or less nowadays, it's kind of accepted as like a trending thing.
Yeah.
So as long as people keep it well manicured, and they keep it clean cut, lined up, and they have a nice haircut, I think for the most part, it's well accepted at the most professional levels.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I think Donald Trump Jr. has a beard right now.
Right.
I've seen when he's in the news.
Does he really?
Yeah. So and it's well manicured. He has
keeps
to
take
up care of it. Yeah. So
absolutely. I've seen corporate jobs that you work in, these corporate jobs, and you see higher ups, and now it's more and more, even the older, the older generation there, where it might not have been nearly as accepted too much. I don't know.
Totally.
I feel like maybe back in the 70s or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that time period?
I think it was more long hair was more the style back then.
Okay.
Well, but beards were still super cool.
Maybe not as much as now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Either way, dude, Tommy Davidson, you were a stud in college. You played football with me. We played for, was it 2 seasons together? 08 and 09?
Yes. 08 and 09.
Yeah. You went to Utah State.
Yep.
And you hit me up. I remember I was living with Ryan Colt.
Yep.
And I remember you hit me up on probably Facebook.
At the time?
Yeah. And you were like, hey, man,
because
you left SVU to go back to Utah State to play football, right?
No.
You just wanted to get out of SVU?
Possibly, yeah. No,
it was just kind of like, hey, I'm going to see if
out of here.
I fit in over there and if I really want to try anything.
Yeah.
You hit me up and were like, hey, man, what's it like over there? Probably because you knew that I partied.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you it's SVU, dude, like, you're talking to the right people.
Yeah, that's pretty much the hookup and the connection.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you because I didn't think you'd be hitting me up to make that kind of an investment to come back and like, make it the wrong connections.
Right, absolutely.
So,
well, I was all stoked because I remember the day that I saw it. For some reason, I was at I met up with someone that I knew back from high school in Shelley. It's just up the road from Utah State, technically, a few hours up there.
Sure.
So met up with them, and then from there, I remember seeing it pull up that Mr. D-Lane Fitzgerald was named the interim head coach, or I believe it was either that or whatever.
Interim.
And so I saw that, and I was like, hey, that guy, I don't necessarily like him, but I like him as a coach. He gets a response out of me at least. And I know he didn't get a response out of everyone like that, but he did for me. Straight up.
Sure.
And so I saw that and I was like, you know what? Go have a fun time. I get to play there. I got to play as a freshman. What are you talking? I got to play as a freshman.
That's what I used to tell people. They're like, "Why'd you go out to Virginia?" I was like, "Because I got to play. I didn't
play for 4 years.
I got to play.
Like
I didn't have to practice. I didn't get to practice. I got to play.
Right.
And that's I say that all the time to people because I probably could have stayed and fought, but let's be real. Yeah. At BSU, but let's be real. As far as my eligibility went, I could have only had 2 years where they would have actually redshirted me, and then I would have had 1 season to play.
Okay.
Because they would sit me out a year, and that counts against me. And at that point, because of when I had started school full time versus where I was at, I had filed an extension through SVU because of my knee injury, so I could get an extra year out of it.
Okay. What is that? Is that a gray shirt or is that still a red shirt?
It's a medical red shirt.
Okay, medical red shirt. Okay.
Because I played as a true freshman.
Okay, yeah.
But my eligibility started the year before because I wasn't expecting to actually play football. I was kind of because of my broken leg and everything, I was kind of thinking I'm not going to do sports anymore. I'm just going to kind of skateboard and hang out. And
kind of got hosed there.
Yeah, I thought I thought I hosed myself.
Yeah.
And then when spring came around, I was hitting the weight room and and so I was putting on weight because that's when 1AD came out and people were getting jacked. Bodybuilding.
And they were putting that stuff. Everyone was handing that stuff out.
Steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that was 2004, 2005. Straight steroids. And I was getting jacked. And so I was like, well, fuck, I might as well just go play football. So I hit them back up and was like, hey, yeah, I'd be more than down to come out and play. So
yeah,
went out and played. But where was I going with that? I don't remember.
Such background on the situation.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there was 2008, 2009.
Yeah,
and then you had the first few.
Oh yeah, my eligibility. So go back to SVU and I played out, but I had a good time, I guess. Did you like SVU?
I had a fun time. It was a great experience. I met my wife out there, and that was awesome.
We're talking outside of football, though. Did you have fun in football, though?
Oh, absolutely.
You did?
Oh, for sure.
I learned a lot.
Yes, that was, and so it was
But I also did a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't do with your football coaches.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, well, I don't know. I feel like maybe at other places you still would have that I feel like that's always going to happen somehow.
I did some crazy stuff with our football coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there during the age where they would pull team meetings and be like, hey, listen, so-and-so isn't here because you guys know why.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, I've got stories, man. I don't want to put like SVO on blast, but man, the program was put on. Did you hear about the whole probation stuff because they were paying players?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean...
That's on ESPN. Like, you can...
Was it really?
Yeah. ESPN wrote about it. All kinds of stuff.
For how much? Like $500?
No, it was like a couple grand a semester for certain, like, athletes. But, like...
Over the...
Do you remember...
Because there's, like, a certain grant amount. Are you talking about over that, like,
no,
in
it was
addition?
Like,
or just payout?
Like, under the table, like, envelope cash.
Right on.
Like, here's, like... This is, like, here's money.
I gotcha.
Go play.
Yeah.
But we also had like people who had played like semi-pro football that they had recruited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know those people. I'm friends with them on Facebook still.
Yeah.
You know, and they're fucking jacked. And they were fucking jacked in college, dude. They were huge, and they were like 28 years old playing like college football.
Just showing
with, like,
up out of nowhere, like,
dude.
whoa.
They're like, yo, I'm a freshman.
And
and you're thinking like, yo, dude, you look like you've got like 3 kids, like 2 ex-wives, like.
Dude's definitely got a mortgage, like.
Yeah, he's got a dog with him.
Car
Like, who the fuck
payment
has
stuff.
a dog with them when they're a freshman just showing up at college? Like, that's kind of weird.
Just
dude.
healing, like, get back by him all through. What?
Did you ever meet Sean Sean Paul Olsen, SO?
No, I did not. I
Do you know
heard
who he
many
was?
stories about him.
Oh, man, yeah.
Did he own the house, the trap house,
Magnolia.
or whatever it was called?
Yeah, dude.
I believe
6th
that
and
was-
Magnolia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we partied
That
hard
burned
there.
down?
It did burn down when the Pollies were there. It was like,
Yikes.
dude, that house was of many memories.
I heard a lot from...
Yeah, I was there for a long time. I was
Yeah.
with all those dudes, Jawan,
Right.
all of them, dude. Every single one of them. Everybody who lived there. I mean, like, I don't even remember who all lived there, dude. Everybody lived at the house.
It sounded like a lot of people came through.
It was fun. There was always cops outside hanging out, and I would always like roll through on my scooter, which you bought from me.
Right?
We'll talk about that in a second, because this is the actual episode. We already talked about that on the highlights that you're gonna probably listen to later, but this is like gonna be actually legit stuff. So.
The actual episode.
But no, I would always roll over there, and I lived with Parrot.
Right.
And I rented out his basement for $125 a month. It was like literally me in the basement with like a pop-up bed and
Where
and
was
like my
this
TV
located
and my
in town?
Nintendo Wii and like basically boxes of everybody who's lived with Parrot for like 5 years. What's that?
Where was this located in town? Like, was it out
it was
away
like
from the school, or was it right next
second
to?
and like Acorn or something like that?
So it was just right there.
Like right down the hill. Like,
Okay.
do you remember my basement house?
Yeah.
Where I lived? Okay. So if you like just past that, it was the house on the corner.
I think so. He owned, or he was living there.
He owned it.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
And like his dad had bought it, I guess, or he had bought it. And Parrot Story's crazy. I'd love to get him on here. He's like,
He's out in Idaho Falls. I
know,
saw him
dude.
at
He's been in
several...
Boise. He's been in Boise, and it
Well,
kind of
he came out. It was both me and him, and this I'll call myself out on this when we both came out for the state game.
Oh, well,
But
next
I was just
time,
like-
have him come over and talk about a story, dude. We could like totally. He's got a great story. I think people
Oh, my
would love
goodness.
it. Yeah, his story
That
is amazing.
that is
And I fucking lived
great
with him.
material
Like
right
I'm
there.
part of that. I'm part of the
Right?
story. Like he almost died when I lived in his house, and I was like, holy shit, dude. My
Right?
parents got like had a heart attack and shit. Nobody fucking told me. Everybody went to the hospital, and nobody fucking told me. And like, I felt terrible because I never went and visited him. But it's like I didn't have a car. Nobody told me what happened to him, so I was just like, all right, we'll tell him. I guess the next time you guys see him, like, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Yeah, but either way, yeah, I rented out like his basement.
Nice.
That place was crazy. I remember one time. Do you remember Andy Pace?
Yes.
Big Andy Pace.
Yeah. He's back at, I think
he's back in Virginia, like in BV, I think.
I heard from Pete
Is
Mantell.
Is he coaching?
I don't know. I believe he had gone back and got like a master's or something. I don't know him, so I shouldn't even be saying. But I had heard from Pete or something that he's doing awesome things.
Yeah,
so
good for him.
I believe in training.
I love
stuff.
Pace. Yeah, he lived with us, but I remember we were in the backyard, and I'm not going to incriminate people, but do you remember Ty?
Yeah.
Not going to say his last name, but
you already. I mean,
him,
everyone.
Him, me, and Brian.
Yeah.
Not gonna say his last name.
Oh yeah.
But we were in the backyard just beer bonging, just like out in the open.
Down there at the bottom of the hill.
No. Yeah, just in the backyard, just beer bonging in the backyard. We just going through like this 24
teachers
pack.
driving by.
Yeah, dude, probably. Yeah. And I remember Andy Pace just like walks up into the backyard. Just Andy just walks in the backyard and he watches us. And I want to say Ty was chugging it at the time, and like he like pulls his mouth off and just spills out, and he's like, "What's up, dude?" and I just like kind of look at everybody. I just kind of like tuck my head and just walk downstairs. Do you remember the backyard? Did you ever go over to that house?
Not that one.
Okay.
Just the one at the bottom of the hill, very bottom of
with the basement.
With they had the family that was possibly Brazilian.
Yes, that's where I lived.
Yes.
So you were only at my place.
Never at Parrots.
Okay, cool.
Over there.
Okay. Yo, that chick, Deborah. She was so into me, dude. And she was super hot. And her parents would always invite me upstairs for dinner.
Right.
To hang out.
Didn't she have like Sunday dinners up there and everything?
I would. They would always invite me, and I remember quite a few times. I remember Deborah would like come downstairs and do laundry, but she would be in like her underwear.
Oh God!
But like her underwear, like the cotton style, like you know what I'm saying, like nothing like too provocative, but like cotton panties, right? But like
not
like
to,
a tank top.
That's not to SVU
top.
honor code though.
Right, but we live in the same house, but we shared the same
worthy housing.
I know, dude. Don't remind me. I've got stories about SVU that would like totally ruin their reputation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could totally put them on blast. Everybody could put SVU on blast. But so
it was fun though.
Yeah, anyways.
Like a lot of good experiences, right?
Lots of good experiences. W&L was a lot of fun, too. Did you ever go party at W&L?
No, I never went over there.
Yeah, we did a lot. But they kind of, like, caught on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, I don't
this
think they
Deborah chick,
okay.
She would always come downstairs and do laundry, like, in her panties, and I'd be like, you do realize I'm doing laundry. You can hear me doing laundry. Why are you coming down here looking like this? Like, it's crazy. You're out of control. And then all of a sudden she married some dude. He became a doctor, and she's got like 3 kids now. But
nice,
sexy though. Did you ever meet her?
No.
I
don't.
Super cool.
Did her
whole family was super cool. Her parents
they all
were just
worked
super
around.
Dope.
Didn't they work around SVU?
Yeah, her mom worked. Well, her dad lived and worked in like Boston. Okay. And her mom was one of the cooks at SVU.
Right.
And
I remember that.
Yeah, and they rented out the apartment above me, and then those two. So she went to school. Deborah went to school at SVU, and her brother also went to SVU as a freshman, and then they had like a younger brother who was like an 8th grader or something.
Okay.
Like that. Super cool. I would like go play video games with them, hang out with them, like have dinner with them. Like Colt was kind of like on the side. He was always hanging out with press, and I was just so busy trying to get done with school because I was so far behind. So I was taking hella fucking classes. And to be honest with you, Cole's kind of a slacker. So
he gets by.
Yeah, he gets by. He gets by. He gets by.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I fucking love Colt, but like I always felt like I was doing homework, and he was just like always out having fun, and I was like, God damn it, how fucking Colt. But
I want to go have fun too.
I want to go have fun too. That's exactly how I always felt, man. Because
Right.
him and Press would always go have fun, and I was always in like the library reading or like studying.
Right. You put in the time though, man.
Yeah.
I remember theory, something life in the theory or something like that. One of the philosophy classes that we took together in that summer semester.
Oh my gosh.
That 2000.
The Maymester.
Yes.
With was it the philosophy class or was it with Miss
Jones?
Ms. Jones?
No. Mr.
And he's like an author and stuff, right? Like,
I believe so.
Yeah. But
anyways.
Oh yeah, you were in my class.
You remember that?
I do remember that class, and I got an A in that class.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a D in that class.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was just a slacker. I was like all on me. I just
so much work though, dude. I literally read for like 10 hours a day every fucking day.
Right.
I was taking that though, and I was taking the history of Western literature with Ms. What's her face.
I don't remember.
She was intense. I remember everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna hate her. She's crazy. She's so rude." Blah blah blah. And when I got her, I sat in the front row. I asked questions, and she absolutely adored me because I was interested. Because it's like
you responded to her.
Yeah, well, and I did everything I could to like make sure that like I took the best out of an A because I didn't want to have to read everything, like, because I wasn't good at reading. I'm super ADD.
Yeah.
So when I'd read, it was like, if I have to read, fuck, man, I'm screwed. But if I can ask questions and I can make connections in class on the things that she's actually talking about, that's what helped me through school. It wasn't reading. I would read, but it was a gloss over.
I gotcha.
You know, like I could read a whole page all the time, which is why I would read like literally 10 hours a day during Maymester for philosophy and the history of Western literature or whatever.
Yeah.
And
well, those are serious classes.
And it's a lot of reading for those.
Is this
classes.
Is this the professor that did she have like kind of the cluttered office that was right at the top of the stairs?
Yes.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember the name, but
and they would always warn me like, "Oh, you want her, you don't want her." Well, she's the only option I got. But if you talk to her and you're interested, she was super into me, dude. Like as far as like as a student, like she was into like she was always answering my interested in what I was like asking, always answered them like and made sure that I was like fulfilled with that answer. Does that make sense? Is there any way I can explain it to you? Like
not just answer and move on real quick. Like
I could see
she
why,
would actually.
Yeah, and I could see why people would assume that she might be rude or she might be
harassing
a little more
them,
like,
kind of like, do you understand? Do you understand?
Like,
do you understand?
Or condescending at times.
Yeah.
But it's because people didn't ask questions. You know, like people just like. They just kind of made up their own minds instead of just like clarifying something, you know?
Yeah, or just kept their eyes down and sat in the back and like avoid eye contact and kind of.
Yeah, and just like thought maybe she's just condescending because somebody has a question they don't understand and they're just, they're just sensitive people. It happens.
Absolutely.
But like, honestly, I look back on my college career all the years, and I did a lot of years. I mean, I have a master's degree, I've done a lot. And I did 5.5 years and 2 full summer terms. I have like 148 credits for like undergrad and an additional like 42 or 48 credits for I think it's 42 credits
graduate
for
level.
Like grad school. Yeah, maybe 40. I don't know, 40.
Yeah,
it's more than 40.
Should be probably around that, I think.
It's a lot of schooling though, right? And I would say that one semester, that one Maymester, was probably my favorite time of schooling.
It felt like totally, it was.
Well, it was super condensed, and I honestly felt like I connected with both of those professors because I took just the 2 classes, and I felt like those 2 professors actually connected with their style of teaching and the way that they were able to communicate that subject and the curriculum. And I did exceptionally well at 2 classes where I was told by a lot of people that they were unfavorable when it came to the being professors. And a lot of people were like talking negatively about them. And I was like, you know what? Either way, I have to get through it. And I went in. Maybe it was because I went through it thinking I'm fucked the entire
only option
time.
you have.
And maybe that's the reason why, is because I was just like, I went in there just with my head down and ready to just fucking grind it out, dude. Just to try to pass it, to make sure I can finish my degree. I didn't want to be out there longer than I was,
just
man.
hanging around BV.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my man, that's
what I did.
I've got crazy stories, dude. We almost got in fights. I've seen crazy stuff out there, dude. Oh man, how many
down
things
out there?
How about all the colorful houses in BV?
That is a sight to be seen.
So, speaking of the scooter that you bought off me.
Oh yeah, so the scooter.
When I was there, I really wanted to drive around the town and just take photos of all the weird looking houses that were pink and purple.
Right.
Or
there was quite a few
yellow and blue.
Yeah.
There was a lot, a ton. You could do more than a slideshow on Instagram. And
pretty
that's 10
wild
photos. Yeah.
architecture as far as how the style and everything
Some
was.
of them,
it wasn't completely all just the same thing lined
up.
Some of them were
a lot of them were custom.
But some of them were pretty interesting.
But you're dealing
the colors were wild.
Wild colors. Purple houses, pink houses, super bright blue and yellow houses. They were everywhere. And mixtures in between, dude.
The people that owned them weren't always, I didn't find, maybe you found something different. I didn't find that they were necessarily the most outgoing people.
They're not very friendly.
Hey, they have a pink house. They got to be pretty
They're not very
eccentric
friendly.
or whatever. Yeah.
It was not a friendly town, dude. I didn't really feel like a lot of people were very welcoming there.
You didn't?
Not at all.
I got the complete opposite.
Really?
Absolutely.
Good for you, man. I was there probably a little earlier than you, though.
Yeah.
So, and by I was. I mean 2005. But when we were there in 05, 06, 07, I guess it probably wised up a little bit as far as people kind of realizing that we're just kind of there.
Your people too.
We're part of the community at that point.
You're part of the economy.
Yeah, and the community, and I think over time people just kind of accept you. Well, it was kind of a newer school.
Yeah.
I think they got buyout in 96. We were there in 2005.
Right, so it still hasn't been 10 years even.
Not even 10 years, man. So they're probably still trying to get used to all these Mormons.
Well, yeah, that's a big
moving
deal
into
too.
This place where it's not Mormons.
Nope.
It's all Baptists, Presbyterians, Seventh-day Adventists, everything under the sun, but a Mormon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was
you got
pretty
this
wild.
Mormon school
a
that
few
just
years
takes over the
that.
mountain.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, it's still
Mormons
at
up
that
on the
point.
hill.
Yeah, the light on the hill.
What's going on up there? With the what happened with the fourth floor? Or was it the third floor? That was locked off?
Yeah, it's
what
because
was that?
I think didn't somebody hang themselves up
Well,
there?
that's what I heard, and then I also heard that it was that part is just condemned or something, as far as it's you could fall through, but was that just the cover up to that there was something horrific happened there?
Well, or I heard a lot of stuff because that building's really old.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was wasn't it used as a hotel during the Civil War back in the day?
Oh, probably.
I think so. I think that's what it was. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, and so I think the history goes back to where, somebody, I think because it was a female, it was an all-female school, an equestrian school, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happened was there was
school.
Yeah, I think what happened was there was a girl, or maybe even two, who had hung themselves in that same room, so they just kind of locked it off.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. But I've also heard that there's really weird Because those were all the female dorms.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Still, probably. And I remember a couple of girls were saying that they had these weird little they were like closets. They were like, yeah, it's kind of like a hidden compartment just in our closet where like you just put stuff for somebody. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like kind of like
What?
yeah, kind of like the
Hidden compartment in your closet.
what do they call that? The railroad, what do they call that?
The railroad?
The back in the day, the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
wait, that you put someone in?
Yeah, what I'm saying is like you would like hide, like you'd stow away like a slave or something.
I was thinking like a smaller. Okay, I get what you're saying. You could actually get some. That's
like a stowaway
weird.
compartment that's big enough for like a person or basically a person. They're like,
right.
yeah, it's up there. It's like kind of like a weird compartment in my closet that's just kind of there. What? We're like, what? And they're like, yeah. And they don't think anything of it because they're like, what, 19, 18?
Yeah,
they're
just
like
another storage
fresh out of high
or
school. And,
yeah.
you know, they're raised in public education. They don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
So, but either way, SVU was like, it was cool because I got to meet and hang out with a lot of cool people with different backgrounds, like the Herndons, right?
Right.
Like Jake Herndon.
Awesome people.
I'm not gonna call him out, but Jake Herndon.
Jake Herndon.
I remember we're in camp. The first year we're in camp. We're doing 3 days.
Yeah.
Second practice of the day. It's hot as balls outside, dude. We're just fucking burning up. And he's like, yo, dude, you dare me to piss myself? And I'm like, what? And we're just like in shorts and like cutoffs basically in our helmets, you know, because that's what your like 2 o'clock practice is like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And he's like, you dare me to piss myself? And I was like, yeah, dude, just like joking around. Yeah, dude, piss yourself. And he literally just looks at me and smiles, and he just pisses himself in the middle of practice. Jake.
Probably about 100 degrees outside and just...
It was just
let it go.
Miserable. Like, and I remember thinking to myself, how itchy is that dude's legs right now? Like, because we're running drills and it's just like, you see just like, he's running these drills in front of me and you see just piss just like slapping off his legs because his shorts are hitting his legs because he's coming up out of like a 3-point, like doing like rips, you know, rip drills and shit.
And you're just watching this unfold.
Flying everywhere. Yeah, dude, he asked me and he just like smiles at me and just pisses like he's in heaven. And I'm thinking like, this guy literally just peed his pants in front of me. He's a grown-ass man. He's just fucking peeing himself. Because I think he came on like a year late. I think he was like 19 when he came on.
Okay.
I don't know if he played at a JUCO for a year.
No, didn't he come straight into, or was he here
for? No, Luke did. I know Luke came in and played as a freshman. I don't know if Jake did, though. I think Jake may have played. I could be wrong. It's very possible he came in and played as a true freshman. I just remember he came in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came in 2007, 8, 9, and then he played a year after me. No, he graduated with me.
Yes, he was done in 9.
So he came in 6 then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he did come in and play as a true freshman, but I thought maybe he played somewhere else.
Dude, my first memory of him, you know, the side to the sack. No, not the sack. The sack was over around. Anyway, the side doors to the basketball gym over there that was connected to our what they called our locker room. Over to around the side there.
Yeah.
And
on
so
the back end?
Yeah, so you have one door open and the other one's just locked there.
Yeah.
Jake Herndon comes around, and I'm pretty sure he was pushing like 300, I think, around the time. This was my freshman year,
dude.
And he just stands there. And he was like, "Look at me." I really hadn't talked to him a whole lot before there, but I just remember he's like, "Look at me, Tommy," and he couldn't fit around
so
him. Like he could. He's like, "I can't fit. I gotta turn sideways."
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, This dude is awesome.
That is Jake Herndon, dude.
Yeah.
To a T, bro.
But he's done crazy stuff with his weight. I'm pretty sure he dropped down. Way low, and then like worked through all those injuries or some of, I think, a pretty bad couple shoulder stuff. But yeah, it's solid. I mean, that's what it was really all about, is just meeting the people and hearing their experiences, I think, because everyone was kind of a little wild in their own way.
Yeah. No,
you never
Jake,
knew.
I got him stoned for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, and the first time he ever got stoned, he did a knife rip of bubble hash.
Yikes.
Yeah, that I had somebody mailed to me.
Yikes.
Yeah. And he was so high. But he was totally normal. He wasn't freaking out, you know? Like,
yeah.
He was totally normal.
He's good with it.
Yeah, he was totally good with it. But, like, yeah, that was, like, back in the day, dude. And it wasn't even my intention. Like, these people just mailed it, and I just kind of, like, had to just kind of just lived there, so.
That's what happened.
It's what happens. But, yeah, man. And then, so you bought my scooter. We were talking a little bit earlier about how you used to drive to, like, Lexington.
Yeah.
It was what? How far was Lexington? It was, like,
I don't know.
was it, like, 15, 16 miles? But on a scooter, it was like forever.
It was a lot longer
Yeah.
than a half an hour. It was like 45 minutes, I believe.
Yeah,
45?
I think it took me about 45 minutes. And that's because I think you and I probably took the same route. So if you took like the main street down, you'd hang a right just before like the old football practice field. And then you go up through the back end with the nice houses and the golf course, and you hit the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That little back way up there.
Yeah.
That's the way to go, because it's not as high. You don't have to get on the interstate or wherever
I
that
think
was.
it's only like a 35 mile an hour. Like,
it was fast enough for the scooter.
Yeah. And
people would come flying through there,
Yeah,
but
they
you're
would.
still good.
But it was fun to ride it because it was a little twisty.
Yeah.
Yeah, going like
You
40.
lean
Yeah, you full
into
throttle that
it,
at 40, and you
yeah.
kind of like, you kind of lean into it, have
It's
fun.
awesome.
Little vino.
Yeah.
But
like
yeah, I remember I went to like
something like that.
Yeah, I went to Walmart a couple times, dude. It was pretty.
That's a trek.
It was sketchy, bro.
That's a trek.
And it was a trek.
It's like, is this thing even gonna still be here when I get?
Well, I broke it in. This is what happened. So I had like, I had Blake. I'm sorry. I had Press and Colt. So Colt followed me in his little Ford Ranger.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Is that what it was? A Ranger, right? Little Ford Ranger?
No. It was
He
he would get pissed at you probably for saying that.
Yeah. What was it?
I want to say it's GMC something.
A GMC or a Chevy. It was small. It was a little. It was basically like a little Ford
Midwestern.
Ranger. Yeah, it was. But whatever it was, him and Press followed behind me the whole way there. And as I was coming back, I took the actual route back into town on the main highway. What? And they followed me with their like
hazards on.
Their hazards on, because I was going like 40 and it was 60.
Yikes!
So we go the whole way in. I'm just going down this hill, and it's full throttle, but you're going down these like pretty
you
steep
keep going
hills.
down there.
Yeah, you get going. So I was probably hitting like 45.
Yeah, you pick up momentum getting on there.
You fly, and your engine's just like fuck it, at
Yeah.
that point. But when I bought the
Don't
vehicle, they were like, yeah, you're gonna want to like put like 70 to 120 miles to break it in. So literally the day I bought it, they were like, yeah, let's just drive to Lexington and back. So all right, cool. Took us forever. It took us forever, dude. It took us like 2 hours. I thought.
Were you like nervous the whole time? Like, oh.
No, not really. I was actually really impressed about that scooter, like with that scooter, because at the time I weighed like 230 pounds.
Yeah,
I was
still
a big
get
dude.
moving a little bit.
Yeah, and it was moving. Like it had some get up and go.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. The cars behind me would never like get up and go right off the bat and like be on my ass ever.
Right.
But I mean, through town, you're going like 30 miles an hour, dude.
Yeah.
So, but now you've got a family. You got 3 kids.
Yep.
The oldest is 4.
Correct.
And you have a 3, and then a 2.
Yep. 4, 3,
and a 3 month, 2 month,
2 month, 3 month, 2.5 months. Yep.
That's so crazy, dude.
So it's awesome being able to have a family come into work, you know,
dude,
whenever they want and like come hang out and,
yeah,
you know, because they can come, wife can come work out and kids can come run around the gym and everything like that. It's a good time. So
are you doing this full time?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody listening in, this is Tommy. He's a buddy of mine. Played football with him in college. This guy's a stud athlete, and it translates well into now what I'm just finding out is his full-time job. The last time we chit-chatted, he had worked for another company as a career, and this was something that he was just starting to get off the ground. So this is kind of cool, man. I'm pretty excited to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
We definitely have. We've had a good time tonight so far.
Yeah,
I think.
We've had some great conversations, a little bit of reminiscing.
Yeah, you know? Totally.
For sure.
And now that you're actually in the studio, and unintentionally so, but
right.
I had been hoping to get you in here.
Gotta seize the opportunity, right?
Yeah, especially
it's
on
been a long time coming.
It has.
I've been waiting.
Yeah. Do you mind bringing that mic up just a tiny bit?
What do you mean?
Just a little bit closer to your mouth? Or not closer to your mouth, but just up. Just move it up. Yeah.
Just the mic, not the camera? Like this?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a little more? A little more?
There you go.
A little more?
Is that good?
Is that good?
That's way good. So,
you tell me.
Yeah, no, that's perfect,
okay.
Man. So
I'll try not to shift back from there. But
go
ahead.
Good.
Sorry.
We're like 44 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Like introducing you.
That's good.
It is good, dude. But
clip and cut things, right?
Well, no, dude. This is a full episode. We're gonna go on forever.
Sweet.
But what was it? Oh yeah. So you're training. You're trying to get jacked. You do all these different types of methods of training. Am I correct? Like because you have athletes from every discipline, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So you've got volleyball players probably.
Mm-hmm.
You've got basketball players and football players, soccer players.
Right.
You really do? That's insane.
And so a lot of these kids are going to be multi-sport athletes.
Yeah.
Most of them. That's actually getting to be a little less common nowadays, it seems like. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of them, you know, it's pretty nice because you have a pretty good range of experience in there and just skill level, and even the skill level that they have necessarily that they're able to display on the field. You know, you get into the weight room, there's still some stuff as far as just coordination-wise that can really help as far as running, you know, going through form, stuff and like that, slowing things down, speeding things up. And so there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do to really just find people's weak points.
Yeah.
And go from there and make those stronger and then see what else is relatively weak and just constantly raise.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. It's like, it's always a challenge, and obviously you learn from each, you know, different person, and everyone's slightly different as far as what they need or what style they kind of need and how they respond to different training. But for the most part, a lot of what we do is based around resistance training. We do, I mean, just in general, you know, weights will stick with variations of the big 3 as far as the squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah.
As far as for kind of main lifts and just a bunch of accessory work, it really just depends where the weaknesses are. And, you know, one thing that's actually, I guess you want to get slightly controversial. Some people out there that really are into it might very much disagree with me as far as, you know, athletes can't be trained. You would never train anything in isolation.
Yeah.
But to an extent, there are certain things that you can really do. I mean, if you have someone have an athlete, his back is, lower mid back is very weak relative to everything else.
Yeah.
I'm saying legs are strong, hamstrings strong, glutes are strong, mid back super weak there. So what do we have to do? It's not like we just work the legs a ton and hope that the back, you have to attack the back after we work the main stuff, right?
Yeah.
And just depending on whatever we're going for at the time, that kind of influences that. But in a nutshell, it's all basic. Just go for the
relative.
Weakness, and you can attack that specific stuff when you really need to. But use it in moderation, just like everything else.
Yeah. It's almost like common sense, though, right? Like
It is.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
Well, I mean, common sense to somebody who has an understanding of, like, application when it comes to what it is you actually, the muscle groups you utilize for the movements that you do in whatever discipline you have, right? So, like,
Right.
When you're playing football, you want to have, like, strong hips, good explosion, right?
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, where when you're doing soccer, you want to be a little more nimble.
Right.
And then, you're going to do more, like, reactive type of exercises, more like explosive. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know how it works. But, like, it's, but they both translate very well between the two, just because, you're going to apply good footwork to football, just because you need to have good footwork in football.
You got to be able to move.
Yeah,
you
totally.
got to be able to react.
But you don't need to have those hips in soccer. Like, do
you
you
still? Yeah. I mean, you really still do. I mean, I had the kid. He was training in there. His brother played football. He played soccer. Just at Hillcrest over here. I mean, about 140, and he's deadlifting close to 400.
Dang.
He's a little soccer player, just fast twitch, the definition of fast twitch, doing the kneeling box jumps to like 20, 2 feet high, just popping up there, no problem. And he was able to really move around there. But at the same time, sometimes you got those tall, lanky, skinny people that are really efficient in how they move. And, like ligaments and tendons, once you're relying on those a little bit more necessarily from the muscles and everything, which the muscles wear out faster. If you're able to rely on that and just so efficient, you get those people that it's just like effortless.
Yeah.
That's always a nice thing to have there. Sometimes it's genetics. Sometimes, it's a combination of hard work and everything. But
totally.
Everyone has to do their own thing to a certain extent at some point if they want to improve themselves past, that plateau. Because everyone kind of hits the plateau, and many people never really get past that. And I mean, you look back to high school, like look how many dudes that were, pretending that they were in there working out and everything like that, and think in reality how many now are in shape or anything like that. They're like it's not like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's.
But it's a conditioning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't mean to laugh a second ago, but what I was thinking of was when we were playing in the Oyster Bowl. Oh my God. And you almost drowned.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I was telling someone about this the other day. Good Lord.
I was on that pile.
Believe it. You were?
Yeah, dude.
All I remember was homeboy that popped up on top of me as like lights out. This is it. It's like, it just couldn't even move. It's trapped. Dude. Drowned on dry land, technically. Like,
I was in that pile, dude, and I remember you were like face down, like in this fucking puddle, fucking
just screaming, probably bubbles coming up out of the puddle. Ah!
You were like, I just remember your hands fucking going everywhere, but people were on top of you, so we're just trying to pull people off because we knew that there was a lot of water, and it was deep, and we were like, get off, because like we knew you were fucking drowning.
Pull me out of there. I was like, baptized in gridiron.
That was honestly one of the most intense games. Do you remember coming out of that dinner and we almost got in a bunch of fights?
Yes.
Like all those hood dudes were like coming out of there because they're all from like Virginia Beach.
They're right around that area.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, they're all coming out, throwing gang signs and shit, and we're, like, a bunch of West Coast dudes, like
a bunch of Mormon kids and a
bunch of white kids from Idaho, Arizona, Utah, California.
Peace?
What?
I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we're playing a game.
Yeah, we're playing a game, dude.
I guess so.
And we'll beat you because we did. We did win that game.
Which one? Freshman year?
Well, the Oyster Bowl.
That was 2009. So I drowned in 2008.
Oh.
When
we cleared the bench.
Yes, when Herndon got booted.
When you got booted out.
Yeah.
But we cleared the bench.
Back.
Remember when Smith ran in there and just picked up Rashad?
Yes.
Rest his soul. He's dead right now, isn't he? No, was that Rashad or was it?
I don't think.
Wait, was that 2008 when he just went in there and just grabbed homeboy and just tossed him?
No, I think that was a 2007. Was that when the police came out and everything like that?
Yeah, dude. We cleared the benches. Remember that dude ran over to our bench and we were just throwing punches, dude. There was like
he came up onto Charles Fitchett, or like he drove him out or something like that, and they took him all the way to the stands.
Sideline.
Yeah, but like he kept going, and then
he was throwing punches at Charles,
and then Herndon was up top. He had already gotten ejected, I think. Something.
Whoever that guy was who drove Charles to our sideline, we started throwing punches, and then their guys came after us, and then Smith ran out to the middle and just started throwing our dudes with like one hand, dude. He was so big. He like the first time
standing there, and he comes by like get back. I'm like, whoa! The cops are coming at me right now.
First time I met Smith, he had like 2 large pizzas on his desk, and I thought like he was giving us pizza, but they were both for him.
He eats it right there,
and he was just smashing pizza slice after slice, just like
my goodness.
Yeah, I'm the new offensive coordinator because at the time he was the OC, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, before.
That's when you got to start with Buer.
Okay. Yeah, in 06.
I didn't know him.
Yeah, Buer, dude. I played for Buer. Dude, intense, man.
Yeah.
Well, that dude was the guy paying players under the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, integrity. That's all he would say. Have some integrity. You know, he would always like press all like the school values and shit.
And then pop with that.
Yeah, there was like it was almost like a Boy Scout chant. I don't remember it anymore, but like, have some integrity. And the next thing you know, it's like, Coach Gary Buer, he's out, ESPN,
right.
Southern Virginia University, has been placed on 2 years of probation for having illegal players and paying people under the table, like all kinds of violations. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, bro. And I remember I told him, I was like, hey, listen, like, my knee's fucked, and I think I'm going to go back and walk on to Boise State because I'm from there, and like, I
want to get back to there.
Get back on it. I did try,
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, let's talk to who was the athletic director at the time?
I do not know.
Italian as fuck, dude. That guy had like curly hair. Man, but he was the athletic director. He eventually became like the offensive lineman coach, and then moved on up, I think. But like, either way, his son came and played for a season, I think, as like a linebacker. But they were like trying to work out a deal with me, and I was like, nah, like I don't know what I can do. And they were trying to like get money for me, is what they were saying.
They could find
they were like
help.
trying to find something.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt weird because like looking back on it, because when I got hit up, like, and was told, like, dude, this crazy Buer just got busted, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then they were naming off, like, the people who were, like, part of it, and I was like, oh, because I knew everybody. They were all on my fucking team.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I thought about it, and I was like, dude, maybe they were like trying to get money to keep me there too. Yeah, that's weird.
Right? Missed out, man.
Yeah, because it was well, no, not really.
You did not
because
get
everybody else was
caught
put
up
on
in that.
probation.
Yeah,
they did.
Up.
And but like now looking back on it, they really did go for a stretch to try to keep me there, and like they were talking about like weird stuff. Like not looking back on what they were saying, like, yeah, we can probably try to get you like $2,500 a semester, you know. And like at the time, like I was like, okay, whatever. But when I look back on it, I want to say it was like around $2,000 or $3,000 that they were giving everybody that were like kind of caught up in it. I'm not saying that they were going to give me money. I'm just saying like they were trying to get me more money. And like I remember like vividly that they gave me that. Like I'm pretty good with numbers.
Okay.
So usually I remember like what they were saying. But it could have been like they do give like certain scholarships.
Yeah.
Academic scholarships.
And they have
but
a lot of good
they could always
say,
hey, it's an academic scholarship.
Right.
This is a scholarship because of like this, you know what I'm saying? And then they could figure out a way to do it. And I don't know, maybe that's the way they were doing it. Or I do know that they were definitely giving cash on the table, and they had.
That's what it sounded like. Someone was just
like players who were playing like semi-pro and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big conflict of interest, especially you start talking about NCAA, which it wasn't at the time, but you know.
NCAA though, they're so lame, dude.
Right.
I think so. I think.
You think they should be paying everyone?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
It's hard to say. Where would they set the standard at as far as how much do people get paid? Does it go off of like jersey sales and all that, like content that's
I would say however
with
much
their
that
name
program itself. No, I would say however much that program itself brings in, then they break out a percentage for the school, the athletes, the program. And
everyone
they may be able
kinda.
to break it. Yeah, they may be able to break it out based on jersey sales. Like, let's say you do have a quarterback who's like 70% of the sales.
Right.
You know, he may not need to get 70%, although I would say he should. But I don't think that they would do that. So I would say like maybe give him like 40% and disperse like 30% amongst like the rest, or just like put it back into the program or towards like a scholarship for him.
Okay.
Or like, I don't know, figure it out. But I think the only reason I say that is because in analytics, when you look at raw numbers, let's say beef jerky, right?
Okay. Beef jerky.
If you have like 10 brands on the shelf.
And this is what you do for a living.
Yeah. Let's say you have let's say you have 10 brands, but like Jack Links makes like 3 of those brands. So you've got like 10 brands, and let's say Jack Links owns 70% of all the sales on that shelf.
Okay.
And let's say there's only 10 facings. So do you think 7 of those 10 facings should all be Jack Links brands? And then like there's 3 that only leave 1 for like at the most for one brand, or like 3 for just one brand, you know, or like 1 for 3 brands or 3 for 1 brand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
how do you switch
that's
it up?
That's not reality. So what you do is you figure out a way to make it as evenly as possible for the whole category, because then everybody's going to benefit. Like it creates a demand for your product because you don't have as many facings, even if you are the leader, and then everybody else can get a piece of the pie, because if somebody's still going to want to buy your stuff, they're going to buy what you have on the shelf.
Right.
They
know what they want.
It's like the Costco method. Yeah. You know, you're limited. Just, you know, you're going to pick it. Yeah. Don't overwhelm people. But that's kind of how I think it should work, though.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. As far as like a team,
solution,
like it would make sense if you know these players were literally hung up on a shelf, but they're not. And so I think, yeah, sure. Like, do you think Tom Brady gets paid his like equivalent to what he brings into that program?
Probably not.
Probably not.
He gets paid, but probably not that much. Like someone's always making more money off you.
Somebody's always making money off you. Or you just figure out a way to make money off everybody else. That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
I'm not good at it, though. Not yet.
You figuring it out?
Someday. I'll figure it out.
You let me know when you figure it out, man.
I will. I will. You'll be a part of it.
Be involved.
Totally. Friggin' A, dude. Well, Tommy Davidson, man, where can people find you? We can wrap this up. It's been an hour, and we got another show that we're gonna do for reviews. Probably we'll figure it out. Yeah. So everybody, stay tuned for that, and also probably some highlights, if not another full hour of a show we didn't publish. Yeah, right. We'll see. Shout outs. Where can people find you?
DavidsonEliteTraining.com.
Solid.
DavidsonEliteTraining.com. That's got contact info, everything like that, bio, whatever. Quick shot of our gym and everything like that.
Facebook, Instagram.
Davidson Elite Training, at Davidson Elite Training on Instagram there, as well as Facebook. That's terrible, but Davidson Elite Training on there.
Yeah.
It's all the same to me. At
least. Yeah. But you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, we got all that fun stuff, all our training videos, and just different clients of very much every level, from college athletes to people that are just stepping in the gym for the first time. So
yeah,
it's good. It's a good time.
You've been growing, man. It's been exciting.
Well, it's insane because last time I was here, I was out here with, like you said, a different company, and I hadn't even, I think we talked about this.
I was just talking about it.
I just had filed the papers like a few weeks after that or something to make it become
a reality.
LLC. Yeah, like an actual legitimate business, right?
And you've grown.
You were still going through with the Pro Edge and everything like that.
That's right. And I remember we had to link up, and we will, because I'm going to hook you up with some product.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always sitting in the gym, too.
Yeah.
Sitting on the counter.
Dude, that would be sick. Yeah. Well, I'm excited, man, because you're killing it.
I'm excited to see you killing it as well.
Thanks, man. It's unfortunately we got off topic for like 2.5 straight hours, but that's kind of what happens when you're like catching up with a friend and you just geek out on everything.
Random stuff.
Man.
That's what it's about.
Totally.
It's conversation.
So, everybody who's listening, make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars, pass the episode along. Follow Davidson Elite Training on literally everything. If you have a question, make sure that you give us a holler. And you can find me at Channel 99 Studio, literally everywhere. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.